Okay, so number 3. The figure below shows some local structure of a mesh. To contract the edge connecting vertices V0 and V2, that essentially means like squashing all of this. We need to first update some fields of those elements shown in the figure and then delete vertex V2. I'm just going to mark these here, so we're going to delete V2. Half edges E1, E2, E4, E5, E7, and E8. And faces F0 and F1. So one thing to note here is that we're getting rid of these half edges, but we could actually instead have gotten rid of these half edges and kept these ones. It's kind of an arbitrary choice. Just make sure you're consistent when you're doing these sorts of deletion operations. Okay, so now that we know what we're deleting, let's update the fields of the structures we are keeping so that they don't point to nothing. So here we have E11, and its next pointer, since it's not going to be pointing to E7 anymore, it should point to E0. So we'll just put E0. Okay, F3. So F3 is here, and it needs to point to some half edge. So the choice for which half edge the face points to is arbitrary. It could actually already be pointing to maybe E10 or E11, something that's still here. But we still need to make sure to update it just in case it's pointing to E7 and we don't have it like a null pointer or something there. So let's just choose one of these. Let's choose E10 and make sure that's pointing to a real half edge. Okay, for V0, it is also pointing to a half edge. The half edge that it points to is also arbitrary, but we need to also make sure that it's not pointing to one of these two half edges here that we're deleting. So we'll just choose another one. Let's choose E15. Okay, E3. It needs to point to a face. It would definitely have been pointing to F1 since it's on this side of the triangle. It would be pointing to the inside face here. So what is the new face for this triangle? That's F4. Okay, and then E12, last one here, its vertex has been deleted since half edges, their vertices are always the ones at the butt of the arrow, so it's always right here. This needs to point to a new vertex that will, once we've squeezed everything, be V0. Okay, so I just want to note some of these, specifically these two, you may not update these in your code, and it might turn out okay some of the time, but it won't turn out okay all of the time, which is why we need to update them to make sure that they are still pointing to the correct data structures. And then the rest of these here, you definitely always have to update, and you'll know it's wrong. Okay, and that is all for this question.